I'm here in Medjugorje, and I'm with, what's your name?
Mary.
Mary, where are you from?
We're from Tampa, Florida,
Tampa,
in the
Florida.
United States.
Oh, and that's so far away from here.
Yes, it is.
And what did you think about Medjugorje when you heard about it, the story?
I've been wanting to come for a long time. I've heard the things for a long time, and I've been wanting to come and just experience the healing and just to strengthen your faith. And Mary's always, kind of feel like she's your real mother. So my mother's gone. So that's who you talk to when you have a problem. That's your mother, so that's who you talk to. So for me, Medjugorje, and it's about healing your inner wounds too. Things that nobody else knows about. Not even your loved ones. It's your own personal, I guess, demons. And so going to confession helps you get rid of those. God absolves you, and you can go back free. So for me, that's one of the big things about Medjugorje is
Confession.
Going to confession. And just reflecting, reflecting on your life and where God has been for you and what He's done for you. For me, it's been a lot, and He's always been there. My mom and Dad had a great devotion to Mary, so I think it's also passed down to us, So it's kind of nice to come see everybody do adoration, and so many people. And outside, you would think it would be loud, but you can hear a pin drop, and it's just nice to spend time with the Lord, with so many other Catholics that, because you really don't see this at home in your real parish. You may have a few people come in and do adoration, but when you see thousands of people from all over the world, it's really heartwarming to see that, the faith is still alive. People do still believe and want to go to church and strengthen their faith.
So
and I'm hoping for my own self that my praying and coming here will help my family and those that have left the church come back. So that's really my prayers for Medjugorje.
I pray that as well.
There's so many people that have left, and they don't, like I've always told my kids, you don't know what a gift that God has given you. Give it to your children. But I got to get my own to come back first.
Yes. So beautiful, you said. Once somebody said to me, Tom, you were chosen for your family to intercede.
Yeah.
And maybe you are chosen for your family,
Yeah.
Also to pray for the healing of the family tree. That's important these days. And your favorite spot in Medjugorje so far?
I'm sorry?
Your favorite spot in Medjugorje so far?
Yes.
What is your favorite spot?
We haven't been up the hill or anything yet, but we went to the Blue Cross.
Yeah.
And just sitting there, and my husband told me to go up and touch Mary, and I said, I can't yet. I can't. I have to go to confession before I go over there and even touch her. I'm not worthy yet. I feel like I have to go to confession before I can do that. That's mine. So he went up there and prayed, but I feel like I have to do a little work before I go over there. And, I sat there and prayed and meditated, but, like I said, confession is a big thing for me coming here.
Mm-hmm. You go regularly in America to confession? Or?
We go not often enough. We go, but it's generally maybe 3-4 times a year, but not as much as you should.
Wow, but a lot of people don't go at all, and that's amazing. And what would you tell people, what is so powerful about confession?
It's just like a weight off your shoulders. It's not anything that, yeah, I'm human, I go back and I do the same thing, but for me, it's just a healing and a weight off your shoulder. I feel so lighthearted after, and it's like, yeah, I'm human, I'm going to go back and do the same thing, but I know that it's asking God to help me and give me the graces not to keep doing the same things that I'm doing.
Me too, we all.
We're human.
Yeah, human, yeah. And a work in progress.
Yeah.
And our faith states, when we are in a state of grace, we can receive the Eucharist. It seems a lot of people don't understand the Eucharist. Can you
Right.
explain?
Well, I have this kind of argument with my sibling who went away from the faith, and that's the biggest thing, that he wants to convert us to his religion, whatever. But it's like, this is the main thing that people miss is the Eucharist. That's the one thing that, yes, we believe 90% of the same thing, but that little piece of bread that you think is just bread, for me, that's God. That's Jesus right there. How else can you get closer to Jesus than actually receiving Him? So that's, for me, that's what communion is, and it's every day I can go be close to God if I want. I mean, I can go receive the Eucharist, and Jesus is right there for me. He's a living God. He's not dead. He's a living God.
Emmanuel, God is with us in
Yes.
the Eucharist.
Yes.
And it's written already in the Old Testament. The grain offering, it's already talking about it.
Yeah.
Wow, it's so powerful what you're saying. That's for our Protestant friends. If you are scriptural, it's written in the Bible, this is my body, this is my blood. There's a contradiction here because you always talk it's scriptural, and ask yourself, your Bible, I don't know how many books is taken out of the Bible because it's not corresponding to the Protestant
Right.
doctrine. Ask yourself, how can the Bible be solo scriptura if half of the books are out of it?
Yep.
And but you are our brothers. It's passionate. I learned a lot from my Protestant friends. And you said you pray the Rosary?
I do pray the Rosary every day.
Wow, what is so powerful about that prayer?
Again, it's for me. There's so much going on in the world, and Mary has said, you can be a soldier for the Lord. That's how you're going to save the world. Not all these wars and things like that. She says it can all go away. We just have to pray. And being a mother, just like me, I know she wants all her children to come back to the church, just like I want my children to come back to the church. So for me, it's generally trying to pray for my children and grandchildren, and the loved ones that have passed, and for her to give me the graces that I need to be a good mom.
Wow, so beautiful what you say. And yet don't forget, for the loved ones who passed away, to pray. There are the Gregorian Masses, 30 Masses in a row. Check it out. It's a sure pathway to heaven. Gregorian Masses for loved ones living, 9 Masses in a row. If you have a problem with somebody, offer Masses. I learned that again here in Medjugorje to add. And you got a favorite Bible scripture?
My favorite Bible scripture is the one I tell my kids all the time, is the Lord has plans for you. And he has plans of I'm nervous, so I'm not going to say it right. But
No, that's
he has
okay.
plans
Just
of
the
hope
sense.
and joy for you. It's
Yeah.
not. So he knows, even though your life may not be going like you think it should go, he has a plan set up for you, and that plan is not always going to be a bed of roses. There will be some times where you fall, but he's there for you, and when you have those little moments, that may be his way of teaching you something that you need to move further in life.
Yes, to surrender maybe. Also when big problems come, that you surrender. Unsolvable problems, normally it's a call by God. Surrender. Exodus 14:14. Be still, I am God, I fight for you. We
Yep.
can surrender everything to Him.
And
He's a
when
living
you-
God. Yeah?
And when you surrender 100%, you will feel such peace.
Yes. Isn't it so?
But most of the time, we want to solve
Solve
that
it.
problem ourselves.
Yes.
And we
No, I don't want anymore. Honestly, I
God.
love it now to give
Yeah.
it.
Okay, God, you can help me. Okay, now I've done it. You scoot over. I got it. So we
Yeah.
don't always surrender 100%. We don't, and I love the Divine Mercy, Jesus, I trust in you. And then,
You
so I
pray
have
it?
it right by I have it right by my bed. And normally before I go to bed, that's my prayer. Jesus, I trust in you. So you're going to take care of all the problems for me.
And you
know.
see the problem solved?
The problem's not solved, but I know he's there helping me through it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, life is life. It doesn't mean because you're a Catholic or a good Christian or whatever that you're not going to experience problems, but he's there.
Is there? Yeah. And what is so powerful about the Divine Mercy Chaplet? You prayed, you said.
Um, it's for me. One, I prayed that when my father was dying, and say when you pray that, it helps them into heaven and whatnot. So for me, when my parents were dying, that's it was just comfort for me, and it's just I like the Divine Mercy because it's like it's all about God's mercy. It's all about God's mercy and trusting that, come to me. I want you to come to me and tell me let me make your life easier and light. Just trust that I'll be there for you. But like I said so many times, and myself included, you don't let Jesus do the job 100%.
Yeah. Maybe that's why you came here, because Our Lady teaches here, surrender, my daughter, my divine daughter, no? And you made the experience when you live in the intention, thy will be done, as it said in Our Father, that your life becomes smoother.
Yes, it does. And again, like I said, I come from a large family, so there's always like things going on in that. But when my mom years ago had a stroke, and the doctor said that she wouldn't live, which she did. She was a miracle. But and it's always a prayer, Lord, it's your will. I'm asking you for help with my mom, but if it's your choice for her to go home, then your will be done. And sometimes we gotta trust that.
Beautiful how he's saying, because we are all in these challenges.
And the same thing for older people. When we get old, it's like you feel like you don't have a purpose. And like I tell my dad, you don't know what God's purpose is. He wants you here for some reason. I know you feel old and useless, but he has you here for a reason. If it's prayer, I don't know what it is. It may be a word that you say to somebody or what, but he has a plan for you. So until he calls you home, we live for him.
Amazing what you are saying. And so far, what you experience now here in Medjugorje, what would you tell people? Why come here one time?
This is my first time, and I've been moved to tears so many times. I don't know what it is about this place. I don't know if it's the healing. I don't know. It's hard to describe in words what this place does for you, but and I think it's just the number of people here, and just to go down to St. James Church and see the numbers of people going to confession is is really amazing. But I just think it's heartwarming, and it gives you strength as a Catholic to see that there's so many people that still believe. My hope is, I see a lot of gray hairs here, but my hope would be that more young people would want to come, is to come here and experience, and maybe that would help their faith. So maybe my goal one day is to get my kids here.
Yeah. And what would you tell people? A lot of people think that God the Father is an angry old man with a white beard, and he waits till we make a mistake and then he can send us to hell. And he's not. How is God the Father?
No, God the Father is just like your Father. He's a loving God. He has rules just like everybody else, and they're for our own good. They're not to keep you from don't do this and don't do that and make your life miserable. It's so we all live in peace and harmony in that. And then his biggest rule is, he says, love your neighbor like yourself. And so often these days we don't do that. And he wants us to stop these stupid wars and stop all this bickering about politics and whatever. It's he's a good God, and he wants the best for us. But sometimes just like a real dad, you have to let your children know that You know, you're doing wrong. You know, but it's not. It's. I know when I was a teenager, I didn't always like the rules that my parents had.
Mm.
You know, so it's no different with God. He has rules. Our 10 Commandments. They're not hard. They're relatively easy to keep. You know, but just like your Father on earth, if you stray, he still loves you. So does our Father up in heaven. Because so many times I've heard from a couple of my friends that, oh God, if I go into church, God's going to strike me dead because I haven't been to church for forever. And that's not true. That's not true, you know. Just go back. There should be nothing stopping you from going to church. He wants you to come back,
Yes.
you know, so
It's amazing
just
what
go. If you feel like that's the case, just go in there and see. He's not going to strike you dead. You know, he loves you. He wants you home.
Absolutely, so beautiful what you say. You want to greet somebody in the United States? Anybody?
Just my kids.
Yeah, just your kids? Yes, and come to Medjugorje. Mommy is waiting for you here. Maybe the mommy in heaven as well?
Yes.
Yeah?
And their grandfather in heaven.
Yeah. Wow, what can I say? Thank you for this beautiful interview.
You're welcome.